Hi students, in last class we are discussed about multimedia applications, which is going to be used in various sectors, and these various sectors how it is going to be implemented, and later how we are going to be that means what are the changes is going to be done, and coming to the multimedia, so how it is going to be changed, and these all of the things we are discussed in multimedia applications. And today class we are going to discuss about the concept of multimedia systems. So what is the multimedia system? The multimedia system is going to be contain the concept of hardware and software. What is the hardware? The physical components of a computer system. That means the parts which we are going to see and touch, those parts we can call as the hardware. And software comes to the a set of programs which is going to be used for a particular task is called software, or set of programs also software. So coming to here, multimedia hardware. So especially when you are going to be using the computer system, whatever may be the hardware part will be there. So here we are going to be take same aspect. So that means whatever may the computer hardware is going to be available, same hardware we are going to be implemented in multimedia hardware also. Coming to here especially in multimedia part, the hardware components comes to the develop. So that means here especially in part of multimedia we will take the high hardware configuration. So what is the high hardware configuration? High hardware configuration means so whatever maybe we are going to be use the processor and RAM. So this we are going to be take the advanced things. So advanced things means present which is going to be running on top wise. So those processors and RAM we will take. So coming to here in this hardware components required to develop multimedia applications comes to the, we have to take various categories. So in this various categories hardwares, so which we are going to be using in multimedia applications. So this we are going to be using in multimedia applications. So coming to here in multimedia systems, so especially in multimedia hardware, first hardware part is the processor. What is the processor? In shortcut form we can call as the CPU, central processing unit. So today if you want to use, that means higher process, so you have to be select the core i5 or i7 or i9 you have to take. So why I am going to be suggesting this process means especially in this processors we are going to be having the high end, that means calculation part will be comes to the very fast, especially if you are going to take the i7, it is comes to be more powerful processor. So that's why my suggestion is that if you are able to take the training in a special multimedia part, you have to be take instead of core i5 you have to take core i7 processor. So for this processor the budget will be high, so you have to beat the budget. So this is comes to the processor. So next processor, the CPU, in shortcut form we can call it CPU. This abbreviation is central processing unit. CPU is considered as the brain of the computer. So why the processor is compared with the brain? Brain means human brain. So just like how the brain is going to be give the instructions, in the same way the CPU is going to be give the instructions for the computer. Just like I am going to, after completion of college, I want to go to my home. So when I start my bike, brain will be gives the instructions. How it's going to be give, go straight, turn left side, turn right side, and straight, and it will be gives the some narrations. So just like how Google Maps is going to give the narration, in the same way the brain is going to be give the instructions to me to reach my home safely. So this is comes to the, that's why the CPU means central processing unit. The processor we can call as processor called brain. CPU is the brain of a computer. How a human brain is going to be reacts in the same way, the processor is also reacts in the same way. Next, CPU performs all types of data processing operations. So CPU is going to be perform all types of data operations. So what are the data operations? I want to convert the data from data to information. You are able to convert? Yes, I am able to convert. So for this part, I have to take the data. What is the data definition? Raw facts of an entity is called data. So data definition is raw facts of an entity is called data. Next, we have to make the process. Process is that we have to apply any one of the condition. So after the condition, next it will be produces the output. The output we can call as the information. So here data processing operation is data plus process. Whatever may the output we will get, that output we can call as the information. Not only data processing operations, if you want to make the mathematical operation. So what is the mathematical operation? Comes to the addition. Addition comes to the 2 plus 5 equal to 7. So this is also we can make the addition. So these operations we can call as simple mathematical operations. So in this operations we will find 4 types of operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. So these operations is going to be performed. Next, it stores data, immediate results and instructions program. So what is the data? So the processor also stores the data. So in this data it can be stored the in memory. We are going to see in memory we will have the cache memory. The cache memory is going to be contain the registers. In these registers which can be hold 1 bit of information. So what is mean by 1 bit? 1 bit is going to be contain 0 and 1. So and not only the instructions, it will be stores the result and whatever may the programs. If you are going to be given the instructions, these also store in your RAM. So in RAM, this memory we can call as cache memory. It controls the operation of all parts of computer. So generally, if we are going to be observe the processor is going to be having the 3 units. The 3 units I am going to explain here. So for this I am open the notepad. So in this I am going to be typing the first one is the ALU, next one is the MU and third one is the CU. So these 3 units which is going to be contained in every processor. ALU stands for arithmetic logical unit. Arithmetic for simple mathematical operations, comes to the addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. Next one comes to the logical. In this logical we have to take the and or not. So these things is going to be comes with given upon the condition. If you are given the mathematical condition, it will be goes to the arithmetic part and it will be calculated and you will see the result. Next, comparison. I want to compare your course with MBBS course. So what will be the what are the differences between degree course and MBBS course? So in these 2 courses I am going to be using the logical operation, comes to the and or not. So this will be goes to the logical unit in the processor and after that you will find the result. Next one comes to the memory unit. What is the memory unit? The memory unit which can be stores the instructions in the form of registers. So whatever may be, you are going to be give the orders, each and everything is going to be stored in memory unit of the CPU. So the memory unit we can call as the registers. The memory unit we can call as the registers, and these registers can store 1 bit of information. These registers can be stored 1 bit of information. So based on that registers we are going to take the store the data and program instructions. Next, third one is going to comes to the control unit. So what is the control unit? Control unit is the unit which controls the instructions which are given by the user. Whatever may be the user is going to be given the instructions, all these instructions is going to be controlled by this unit. How it is going to be controlled? For example, at a time suddenly I launch 5 applications. The applications are Word, Excel, PowerPoint and Mozilla Firefox and Zoom application. So these 5 applications, when I am going to click continuously, my computer will be halted for 1 or 2 minutes. Yes, in this halted time, some people think that the computer is in struck up. So whenever the people think struck up, so what you will do, you are going to press the restart button. That is completely wrong. Just to give a little bit time for computer, which is going to be adjusted. That means you are launched at a time 5 applications. These 5 applications is going to be arranged in the form of the queue, and it will be sent to the processor for processing. So for this part, it is going to be take some time. So for that time, your input output will be idle. So that's why if you are going to give some time, the processor the control unit, which will be send these applications one by one to the processor. Whenever these 5 applications process is going to be done, then it is going to be release your input and output. So these 3 things you have to be observed in a processor: ALU, arithmetic logical unit; MU, memory unit; third one is the control unit. And these things we are going to discuss it here. So here comes to the point. So it controls the operations of all parts by control unit. So this comes to the our multimedia hardware. First one comes to the processor. Next I am going to the memory storage. So what is the memory storage? Memory and storage device. So after the processor, we have to require the memory. So why we have to use the memory? So generally the memory we can use for storing various files. We can use memory for storing various files. So how these various files are used? These various files we can use during the production, original audio and video and clips, editing pieces, and final mixed places. So here the word is wrong. So here min is came. Sorry, this I have to edit it. So I will edit. So this is the PDF. So I am not able to edit. So I edit. So when you are going to observe here minute, so replace with X. So due to wrong typing, I got mistake here. So and final mixed places. So coming to here, I will explain this by taking one example. I am running a video mixing unit. So whenever a person is going to be came with raw data, so what will I do? I have to copy those files. So those files will be having not a single file. So I have to take with various files. So after taking these various files, I have to copy in my hard disk, and after that I have to start the production. So how I have to start? So I have start the production by using the Adobe Premiere Pro software. So Adobe Premiere Pro is a software which is used for video mixing. So after taking, I have to add these files, and next I have to add some audio files. Why? Because in video mixing, so while playing the videos, I have to play some songs. So these audio files, and I have to take some special effects, video clips, and after that I will make the editing, and after making the edit, I will check some parts, and after that I will club all of these files. Then I have to get the final output. So whenever I have to get the final output, I have to save. So then I have to save. So for this project, I have to save in memory only. Next one, I have also need memory for backup of my project files. So what is the backup? Backup means which we can call as a secure copy. So what is the secure copy? So after completion of my work, I don't trust on hard disk. So what will I do? I simply take one external hard disk drive, I will connect it to my computer, and after that I will copy my project files and some other files also as a backup. So when the hard disk is going to be failed in my system, when suddenly my hard disk is failed, then I don't feel any tension. If I not take the backup, then at that time I feel the tension. So this is comes to the memory and storage device. So the memory, which is going to be divided into two categories. The two categories are primary memory and secondary memory. So generally in primary memory, so it's 3 flash memories there, but as the abbreviation we have to say primary and secondary memory. This flash memory comes in secondary memory part. First we are going to discuss about primary memory. So what is the primary memory? Primary memory holds only those data and instructions on which computer is correctly working. So coming to here, if you are going to be observe any computer, whether that is a laptop or desktop computer, the primary memory, which we can call as RAM and ROM. So RAM is random access memory and ROM is read-only memory. RAM, random access memory, is a temporary data and ROM comes to the read-only memory. I will explain with detail one by one. First, RAM. So whenever you are going to be use the RAM which is going to be holds your programming data, and how it is going to be hold your programming data. So whenever you are going to be turn on the computer, your operating system will be loaded. So once the operating system will be loaded, here I launch PowerPoint application. So here I launch the PowerPoint application. So this PowerPoint application is loaded in my RAM. So whenever my work is going to be closed, so after 30 minutes I will close this window and this window, this window. When I am going to close these windows, these applications will be removed from your RAM. So generally the RAM which is going to be hold the Windows operating system files and application programming files is going to be hold these two things. And coming to here in this primary memory, so which is going to be comes to the, it is going to be holds the these type of data. So how it is going to be hold for this operating system and application software, we are having two types of files. The two types of files we can call as .sys, .dll. .sys stands for system files, .dll stands for dynamic link library, and these two files is going to be interact with the RAM. And the next one comes to the ROM. ROM is a semiconductor device. That means we can call as one electronic chip, and in this electronic chip it can be store the instructions. And remember, once the instructions stored in your ROM, that means read only memory, the instructions is going to be fixed permanently. So we are not able to make any changes. So that's why be careful with your RAM. So what is the example for your RAM? When you are going to be turn on the computer, first 5 to 10 seconds you are going to see one screen, Intel, Gigabyte and some comes to the Mercury, like that. So when you are going to be see those messages, assume that those three we can call as BIOS program. BIOS stands for basic input output system. BIOS stands for basic input output system. So like this we are going to be take the RAM and ROM in our primary memory. And coming to here, this memory we can call as the fast. That means especially in this, the memory is going to be contained in the form of the registers. The registers which can be send the instructions very fastly from one place to another place. So this is comes to the explanation of primary memory of RAM and ROM. Next one comes to the secondary memory. After that I will move to the flash memory. Secondary memory. So coming to here, in primary memory, the user is not able to store his instructions in RAM or ROM. So that means I created a file in MS Word. I want to save that file. So I am not able to save that file in RAM or ROM. So ROM is once the instructions will be given in motherboard, so that is the program. So I am not able to fix my files in ROM. So where I have to fix? Next part is the RAM. In RAM, which is going to be hold only two types of files. The two types of files are .sys and .dll. .sys stands for system files, .dll for dynamic link libraries. So now I want to store my files only in secondary device only. So this secondary memory we can call as external memory. So this we can call as external storages, and in this external storage these are non-volatile. Now I have to explain volatile and non-volatile. Volatile means a temporary memory. That means in your RAM, so what are the programs which is going to be loaded when you are going to be close the program or you are going to be turn off the system, all of those programs which is going to be removed permanently and removes from your RAM. So that's why RAM is going to be called volatile memory. Volatile means temporary memory. But coming to the secondary memory, here it is a non-volatile. Non-volatile means here once the instruction, that means the files which we are going to store is going to be fixed permanently until you are going to be delete. So it is slower than main memory. When you are going to compare this secondary memory, it will compare with the primary memory, this bit is slow. Why? Because on the registers will be there, so it's going to be loads the instructions very fastly from one place to another place. But here in this case, especially in secondary memory, the accessing speed comes to the little bit slow. Now there is no problem. So now in this secondary memory also we are having the SSD disks. SSD disks means state solid disks available. So this is going to be using very fast to retrieve the data here. Next, these are used for storing data or information permanently. So what are maybe the data or information which we are going to be stored, you can use this secondary memory, so there is no tension. That means the files is going to be saved permanently. CPU directly does not access this memory. So CPU is directly interactive, and if you want to access the files, you have to select by using the mouse pointer device. That means I want to open any one of the file. So for that file, so I am going to be select here. So how I am going to select? I have to minimize here. So here I want to play this audio file. So how I am going to be used? So this is a file which is going to be stored in my hard disk. When I am going to double click it, so it will be asked the application. So I am selecting MPC application and just simply click on OK. So I am going to click on the audio file is going to be played. So like this, we are going to play the files interaction. Next, I want to open this machine learning file. So double click it, it will be open. So like this, these files you can directly access them. So just like the files which we are, so these files are stored in my computer, and these files are permanently. So where it is going to be stored? In my hard disk. So these files are stored in my hard disk. So when I am going to access the files, when I am going to double click it, so the files will be played directly. So this is comes to the so where is our file? So here multimedia systems. So I closed that system, so no need to worry, we have to open. So double click it. So like this, now I closed the file, and here when I am going to double click it, the file is going to be open here. So like this you can access your files by taking. So if you are going to be save the file, so that is we can call as the thing, and you can call as the input, and just like if you are going to be access, the file is going to be open, so that we can call as the out. So which we are going to be used according to the situational wise, which is going to be used according to the situational wise. And in this we are going to be using these things we can use according to the input and output part. Next, contents of secondary memory. So first, if we are going to be access any one of the file, so first the file is going to be load into main memory, and after that CPU is going to be accessed, and after that the file will be played. So here, So if you are going to be open this file, so what will be happen? So first it is going to be load this application. So what is the application? So this application we can call as the media player. First this media player is going to be loaded into your run, and after that it will be take your program, and then after the CPU will be give the access and the file will be play for you. So this is the musical track I like very much. So like this we can access audio files, video files, text files, or whatever maybe you want, any file you can access it very easily. So this is comes to these files you can access very easily. So coming to here, the secondary memory examples are disk means hard disk, and after that CD-ROM or DVD. So what is meant by disk? Disk we can contain we can call as the hard disk. So what are mean the files, especially in our computer, whether that is a laptop or a personal computer, hard disk is the main storage. That means in secondary storage it is a main storage which is going to be save these files, which is going to save these files. So this is comes to the your main memory. Next one comes to the, if you want to transfer files very easily from one page to another, you can use CD-ROM or DVD. CD-ROM capacity we can call as a compact disk, and ROM comes to the read-only memory. Why I am going to be saying these two as ROM means read-only memory. So once we are going to be record the programs in ROM, so those programs is going to be stored permanently. So whenever it is going to be stored permanently, you are not able to access those files. You are not able to access those files. That means, sorry, you are going to be access the files, but once the files is going to be copied in CD or DVD, so those files will not be removed. The files is going to be fixed permanently in CD or DVD. Just if you are going to be observing in olden days, you will see the CDs and DVDs. Nowadays, so these CDs and DVDs we are not using. Instead of CDs and DVDs, we are using the pen drives. So by using the pen drives, you can transfer the data very easily from one location to another. So especially CD-ROM. So we can call as CD and DVD. We can call as write once, read many times. So we can call as read and write operations. So write once in CD and DVD, write once and read many times. Especially in hard disk it will be reverse. In hard disk comes to the write many times and read many times. You can add the files, you can delete the files, and lot that you can use. And remember one thing, the one thing is that especially in your hard disk, the lifetime of the hard disk time is 4 years. 4 years means 4 to 5 years. So 48 months to 60 months. If whenever your hard disk is going to come 48 months, that means be aware with your hard disk. That means at any time your hard disk will be collapsed. So that's why just remember this hard disk very carefully. That's why, so after 4 years of your hard disk, just take the backup every time. So that means take the main files as a backup for security purpose only. So like this we can use the hard disk like this, and these we can call as the secondary. And flash memory. So coming to here, flash memory is very fast and it is going to be contained in the very speed, and this we can use as in CPU and memory. And this flash memory we can call as the cache memory. And not only in cache memory, this flash memory is also we are using in pen drives also. Especially in our pen drives, you can take the that means the flash memory. So for storing the data, we are going to be using the semiconductor device. So flash memory, which is going to be used in BIOS and as well as pen drives to store our data. But especially in BIOS, the data is permanent, but in pen drive you can copy the data, you can delete the data, and like that you can use up to n number of times very easily. So this is comes to the processor and memory part in our multimedia hardware, and remaining we will have input devices, and this topic will continue in tomorrow class. Until then, take care, bye.